Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. Welcome to another episode of Free International webinar brought to you by the Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP. And we are pleased to have you join us for the 507th episode of our daily webinar and for taking part in tonight's session. And we are coming to you live via StreamYard on Facebook and YouTube platform. Thank you, folks, for finding time and attending tonight's or today's program. We hope you will enjoy the program tonight. And if you do, please let us know. If you're just meeting, I am Gafur Impanimbang, an assistant professor from Adyong Memorial Polytechnic State College here in Lanao del Sur, Philippines, and a proud member of the Institute of Global Professionals, which is sponsoring this webinar series. And I'm so privileged to be your host for tonight's or today's episode. The Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP, is an ISO certified compliant training institute and a globally recognized multi awarded international professional organization. We're a nonprofit training institute dedicated to making it possible for anyone to learn anything and anywhere for free online at any subject level. At IGP, we provide free online and offline learning platforms for education and skills training for students and professionals like you, backed by international speakers, coaches, and leading experts from all over the world. Through our mantra, Feed Your Skill, it is our mission to empower people by providing an overall learning experience that meets your needs and helps you to achieve life goals. We believe that free education, more than anything, has the power to break through boundaries and transform lives. Our lone speaker for tonight will have the floor for about 60 to 18 minutes in his presentation. And after the speaker's presentation, we will conduct a short question and answer session. So if you have any content related questions you would like to ask for the speaker during the webinar, please type them into the chat window and we will address them during the Q&A. We would like to get through as many of your questions as possible. Throughout the presentation, you will see a couple of questions pop up on your screen that would allow you to get engaged with us while the presentation is going on. And we appreciate you guys answering those questions coming in. Today's or tonight's session is being recorded to be available for viewing post-conference on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. That's Institute of Global Professionals. We are using our FB page and our YouTube account to store webinar recordings and make them available for public viewing. After this session, we will be posting this recorded webinar on our YouTube channel for you to watch a replay in case you want to review anything. And we welcome you to revisit the content yourself and share it with your colleagues. Stay with us till the end for you to claim your e-verified certificates for tonight's webinar, as we will be sharing you the certificate code with the link down in the comment section below for you to download your e-certificate for free. And join us also on our exciting and interactive online quiz game competition happening after the speaker's presentation. So if you wish to join with the online quiz game as player, just simply go to slido.com using your own device and browser. And once you get there, you will see a window asking you to type in the event code. Just simply type in the event code and press enter. Or better yet, scan the quiz code that will be displayed on the screen for fast access. And pretty much you're good to go. The event code, by the way, will be shared on the screen just before the competition begins. So please do hang out for that. Lucky top 10 players who would have the most correct answers and fastest response time will receive a quiz completion certificate again, courtesy of IGP. If you guys think this program is useful to you, please show us your support by sharing this webinar to your social media communities. Keep on inviting your friends and colleagues you care about so they can also benefit from these programs. Or you can just tag their names. And if you like this program, smash the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that already. We also invite you to leave us a comment as we'd love to hear from you guys. Today or tonight's episode is of particular interest to those of our academicians, teachers, and researchers alike as we bring you a webinar entitled Values and Research Excellence. And we are so lucky to have with us a great speaker from the Philippines to share with us his expertise on that subject matter. So without further ado, I will now turn the time over to our lone speaker for tonight or today's event. He is a college professor too at University of Mindanao, Tagum College at Tagum City, Philippines, and concurrently an auditor of internal quality audit of the same college. So ladies and gentlemen, we are so fortunate to have with us Sir Mervin Amba Osik. Sir, welcome to the show, and we're
Sir, good
so
evening.
glad to have you here with us tonight.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's my honor.
So you may go straight to the content of your presentation, sir. I think our live audience can hardly wait what you have in store for us.
Okay, sir. I'll start sharing my presentation.
Sure.
A minute. Okay. Is my screen visible to you, sir? My PowerPoint visible to you?
So far, not yet, sir.
Okay, I'll try for a while.
Okay, you can just try and try until it will
Oh
finally
my God.
appear on the screen. All right, while our speaker for tonight is
It's not
busy
working.
fixing his presentation. All right. Oh, it's not working really.
Yes, sir. For a while.
Okay, just do it over and over again until it's finally appear on the screen. But while our speaker is busy fixing his presentation to appear on the screen, allow me to acknowledge some of our, I would say, eager beaver participants who are joining us for tonight, like Evelyn Wapiri from our YouTube platform. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for joining us for tonight. Also to Veneranda Jordan, Mom Gemma Rivera, and also Sir Alex Javier Alvarez. Thank you for joining us for tonight. It's really a pleasure to know that you're still there, guys, supporting us. All right. And we've got Mom Gemma Benelada. All right. We've got Sir Wakil Alam. All right. Sir Ramon Bacarisas. Joseph Navales Placer from this one is from our Facebook platform. Sir Joshua Diego, thank you for joining us for tonight. All right. We've got Joseph Navales Placer also from our Facebook platform. We've got Ma'am Lizel Gabaldon. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for attending for tonight's or today's webinar. And also shout out to Sir Joseph Nava. Yes, uh, we have Carmela B. Hine or Jine, whatever. All right. And also we've got Sir Dennis Serso from our Facebook platform. Again, thank you so much, guys, for showing us your support to IGP. It's really a pleasure to know that you're always there. All right, keep on supporting us. All right, and also we've got Mom Rosie Yosores, also from our Facebook platform. And going back to our YouTube platform, we have Sir Chandra Shekhara Rao Volicante. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. All right, he's from India. All right, we have so many uh, attendees who are joining us for tonight's session. All right, we have Sir Angelo Ray D. All right, all right. We've got Sir Palash Barman, Angelo Reddy. I think I read it already. All right, thank you for uh, letting us know how do you feel with our program for tonight's session. All right. And also from Facebook platform, we've got Sir Cherry Yamaguchi. All right. And from Facebook platform, we have Ma'am Jeneline Borja Mandawi. All right. And also, good evening to Sir or Sunday Olabudi Oladukon. All right, from Nigeria. All right. And we've got Ma'am Aimee Garcia from our YouTube platform or YouTube channel. Rather. All right. Yes, thank you so much, Sir Alex Javier Alvarez. Good evening. All right. And of course, my co-host, Ma'am Maribeth de la Cruz, is joining us in our Facebook page. All right. Shout out to Ma'am Maribeth de la Cruz. Okay, one of our dynamic hosts here at IGP. Thank you so much, Ma'am Maribeth, for joining us for tonight's session. All right. And we've got Ma'am Lizel Kagurungan. All right. Innocent Dajong or Dahang. Okay, also from Nigeria. And we've got Alif Tavhe Cabrera from the Philippines. All right, thank you for uh, showing us your support by leaving us a comment on the comment section. All right. And we've got so many chat messages here. All right. We've got Mr. Abdallah Al Awadi. All right. And who else? Ma'am Marisa Gumabong. Okay, this name sounds familiar. They're actually our loyal followers, okay, for IGP. And I think Sir Mervin is back, and I think he's now ready to share his slide for us.
Is
All
my
right.
slide visible, sir?
Okay, I think it's still loading, but we have to wait for a few seconds. I see. There you go, sir. I think you're good to go.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good day, everyone. I'm sorry for some technicalities. Okay, so by the way, I'm Dr. Mervin Asik. I'm a college professor of the University of Mindanao in Tagum. My talk for this evening or today is on values and research excellence. So I actually divided my topic into three. First is that we'll be talking about values and how these values is being related to in doing research. And then the second is on the qualities of a good researcher, and then the last one is on the excellence on research excellence. So, fundamental human values. Remember that we have inherent values, we have basic values as a human being. I actually cited seven of these fundamental values, and then let's try to relate these values into doing research. So these are honesty, fairness, objectivity, reliability, skepticism, accountability, and openness. So how do we relate this value? So being honest implies doing research and communicating about research results and their possible applications fully without deception. So basically, when we do research, we have to be honest with our methodology. We have to be honest with our data. We have to be honest with how do we gather our data. We have to be honest on how do we select our participants, the sampling technique that we use. And then after that, after gathering the data, after we tabulated the result, after we analyze the result, then we really have the most important part of doing research is communicating our results. So in communicating our research results, then it should be that this is without deception. Next is that we need to be fair. Being fair means treating others with respect and consideration. So remember that especially in doing social researches, okay, our subjects are persons, human being. So we really have to adhere with the ethical consideration. So as a researchers, we need to submit our paper to the ethical review committee. So we have to be fair with our respondents. We have to consider, we have to respect, we have to take care of the ethical considerations in doing research. Another thing is that objectivity. So what is this objectivity in relation to research? Objectivity implies that researchers try to look beyond their own preconceptions and biases to empirical evidence that justifies our conclusion. So we have to be objective. We have to look beyond. We have to look beyond with the research. We have to remove our biases because remember, as researchers, we have our own personal bias in doing the research. So as a researcher, we need to be objective. We have to remove that biases, especially if the direction of our results, the results of our research directions is far with our own directions in doing the research. We have to be objective. We have to look beyond. And researchers have an obligation to adhere to the methods to enhance the reliability and the reliability of the results they obtain or demonstrate that an alternative approach does not reduce the reliability of research results. So basically, when we do research, we have to adhere with the appropriate methodology. So in doing research, after we recognize the problem that there is really a phenomena, there's really a problem of the phenomena, then we try to look for an appropriate methodology in doing the research. So in doing the research and in a methodology, we need to adhere with the standards, the process. So we have to follow the process for us to have a reliable research. So you have to adhere with the sampling technique, the sampling method that you're going to use. It's not just like it's a convenient sampling, but there are researchers that uses convenient sampling, but there are also other researchers that using other sampling techniques. So they have to adhere in taking that sampling technique. So for us to have a reliable results. And of course, researchers maintain a degree of skepticism towards research results and conclusions, so that results and explanations are continually re-examined and improved. So the degree of doubt, the degree of questioning, we have to question our results, we have to question our data, we have to re-examine our data for us to have a good conclusions and a good explanations of our results of our research. And of course, researchers are accountable to other researchers, to the broader society, and to the nature. Remember that as a researcher, our research could somehow be um, a baseline for another research. So we have to consider that. We have to be accountable with in doing our research, that we follow the methodology, we really examine the results, we really analyze the results, because the results of our study, after communicating these results, this could be a good baseline for other researchers. And of course, to the beneficiary of your research. So basically, um, when we do our research, because we do research because we want to find an answer, we had to find a solution of this particular problem. So for us, the beneficiary of our research. And researchers need to be open with others for research to progress. So as a researchers, we need to have a growth mindset. We need to be open with other researchers, open for other research, for us to check if we are really doing good or we are on track with our research. So we need to ask for help for our other fellow researchers. Okay, if we encountered problem in doing research. So we have to be open. We have to have at least a growth mindset. And of course, the most important one is research integrity. What is this research integrity? It is the commitment to the trustworthiness of research process. So remember, doing research is a tedious process. It because as a researchers, we are also scientists. So when we are a scientist, so we have to follow with scientific procedures. So it's a tedious process. So we need to have our commitment to integrity for us to have a good and reliable results. Okay, I'll be also sharing to you the 7 P values of research. One is the perceptual value, practical value, political value, pro forma value, proficiency value, placement value, and then prestige value. So let's define each of these P values in research. So let's start with perceptual value. So what is this perceptual value? Perceptual value, the importance of research to change the perception and conceptualization and knowledge of people about the world. So that's basically perceptual value. Practical value, the significance of research for practice. Practice may be what the individuals do, that's the behavior, or how they do things, or that's the procedure. And of course, the political value, the worthiness of the research for policy making, the level of acceptability of the finding is an important determinant of this value. So the one of the most important value of research is that the worthiness, how this research is used, especially in policy makings. Okay, the beneficiary of your study. And of course, the pro forma value, that's the tactical use of research to support the predetermined positions, decisions, and actions. And proficiency value, the usefulness of research. Sorry. Okay. Proficiency value, the usefulness of research to improve the analytical skills of the individual. So as researchers, we need to have an analytical mind. So by doing research, we're able to develop analytical thinking skills. And of course, placement value, the importance of research to create opportunities and income for educated people. And prestige value, of course, the use of research experience to create disparity in the status and reputation among individual. Now, my next topic is what qualities are required to be a good researcher. So we talk about the values, the fundamental values in doing research, on how do we apply these fundamental values in doing research. But what are the qualities of a good researcher? So let's talk about it. First is that an analytical mind. So as a researcher, we need to have an analytical mind, a critical thinker. Okay. According to Richard Walker, you have to be able to see the bigger picture as well as the detail. People often find it easier to do one or the other. It is a skilled researcher that can do both simultaneously. So basically, as a human being, we need to have an analytical mind. This is the two mind models. We have the analytical mind and the intuitive mind. So what's with the analytical model? Okay, analytical mind. You have to have a narrow band with effort. Effortful step by step analysis. So that is really required in doing research. That they really have to analyze every steps in doing a research. And of course, you have to be conscious. And of course, as a researcher, you need to have this growth mindset, not the fixed mindset. It's a growth mindset that you're open for learning, you're open for growth. That's why we are doing research, because we are seeking for answers. We try to understand the phenomena. We search for solutions. We search for answers. So as a researchers, you need to have a growth mindset. And the next quality is a people person. A researcher should be a people person. This is important for clients, buyers of research. This is important for clients, buyers of research would rather work with professional and friendly consultants. Also for respondents to get the best out of interview focus group participants. That's according to Richard Walker. So as a researcher, because we're handling, especially if you're doing social science research, okay, our subjects are persons. These are people. We need to be people person for us to have um, a good grasp of the phenomena, a good grasp of the problem. Okay, especially if you really wanted to have a saturated data during the focus group interview, the IDI, the in-depth interview, and of course during also even if it's doing a survey, you really have to have this personality. You have to be a people person. Okay? So remember that being a people person, you have to consider the golden rule. So that's very basic. So this is the key to a successful interpersonal relationship is to treat people the way you want to be treated. This is called the golden rule. Instead of putting people in their place, learn to put yourselves in their place and see life the way they see it. So that's very important, that we have to treat people the way we wanted to be treated. And number three of the qualities is that the ability to stay calm. This is I think for me, this is the most difficult qualities of a researcher, to stay calm. Okay. According to Bethan Turner, it can be really stressful as a researcher sometimes, especially when you have pressing deadlines or are experiencing problems with the data set. For example, when this situation occur, you just have to keep focused and think logically. There will always be an endpoint, even if it doesn't feel like it. So remember, if you're doing a research and you can see the end of the tunnel, that's very dark. Okay, but you have to maintain your focus. You have to stay calm. You focus, go back to the reason of why you are doing this study. You go back to your goal. You go back to your core. You have to stay focused and you have to stay calm. Okay? Because doing research really is a very stressful activity. Four is, of course, intelligence. Okay? Research requires critical analysis, but most of all, common sense. Okay? So that's very important. I think that's self-explanatory. That as a researchers, you need to have this common sense. Okay, we need to be intelligent because we are dealing with subjects. We are dealing with people. We are dealing with problem. We try to seek solutions to a particular problem. We try to give inference out of the population. So we're giving actually an answer. We're trying to find for an answer of this particular problem. So basically, we need to have this common sense. So one of the ability or qualities of a good researcher is, of course, intelligence. And of course, it goes with, if you are intelligent, then it goes with the other one, the fifth one, that's curiosity. You may have the necessary intelligence, but if you are not curious enough, then you won't be passionate about delving deeper, the unearth more insight, to unearth more insights. So according to Anthony Shepard. So intelligence without curiosity is nothing. So when you are intelligent enough, but you are not curious, you end up to there. Okay. When you are curious, you dig deeper. You find solutions. You ask questions. Okay. To be a researcher, you have to have an inherent interest in what other people think, potentially about or absolutely anything. And the, the noisier you are, the greater depth of information you can extract. That's according to Garrett Hudson. So curiosity and intelligence should go together, okay, if you really wanted to become a good researcher. Then the next one is a quick thinker. Okay. Things don't always go to plan. So you need to be able to think fast. That's according to Anthony Schiff. Okay, that's according to Anthony. So basically, we need to think quick. We have to find for solutions. If the our problems, our research should go with according to our plan, so we have to have a solutions. We think faster. We have to think with a solution. And the other one is commitment. Commitment. Why? Because doing research is a very tough job. So it's a tough job. The hours can be long. The deadline is short. That's according to Richard Walker. So your commitment. Again, you have to go back to your goal. You have to go back to your reasons why you are doing this one. Okay? So it really entails commitment. Commitment of your time, commitment of your you go away with your personal life because you're doing a research. So doing research really is requires commitment. Okay. And of course, number 8, excellent written and verbal communication skills. Of course, it's very important because you need to discuss. You'll be discussing the result of the study. You have to be communicating the result of your study. What is the impact of the study to the body of knowledge? Okay, what is your contribution to the body of knowledge? So different audiences can clearly understand the findings of the research and what means for them. You have to have an excellent written communications and be fluent in the language of business. That's according to Richard Walker. So you have to have an excellent communication, written and verbal communication, because you'll be writing the results of your study, and at the same time, after that, your research doesn't end up to a completion of your degree, submission of your research. What's important is that you have to communicate this research to the result of this research to the people, to the beneficiary, for us, for have an impact of this, for the impact of this study. And of course, number 9 is you have to be sympathetic. Having a sympathetic ear when listening to some respondents' moans and groans is always a good skill to have. Of course, you really have to sympathize sometimes with your your participants. When the participants decided not to continue, then you really have to respect on that. Okay, if the participants would not agree with the interview, then you have to respect on that. And of course, you have to be systematic. Check and check again. That's how we do. research. It sounds simple, but I've definitely learned that building in a proper amount of time for checking your work always pays dividends. This can be applied to all parts of the research process. That's according to Beth and Turner. Attention to detail, the ability to ensure that data is accurately presented and reported. That according to Anthony Shepard. So basically, we need to be systematic. We have to double check. We have to triple check. We have to check and check again if it's reliable, if the data is correct, the process is correct, the methodology we use is correct, or if it's appropriate for that particular research. So we need to be systematic. We're down now to our last topic. What makes an excellent research? Okay. First is an excellent research should be in orderly and systematic. A good research is orderly and is conducted in a systematic way. So remember again that when we do research, when we are a researcher, we are also a scientist. So we have to follow the scientific method. So we need to conduct the research in an orderly manner, in a systematic manner. And this is the most important criterion in a scientific research. Okay. So to start with, knowing the problem. So we have to recognize that the problem really exists. Okay. And then when the problem really exists, you need to have a baseline data to support your claims. And then after that, you have to plan for ways on how to do it. You have to identify first the problems, the objective of your research, the plans on how to do it, and how to gather data. And then in the data gathering, it also follow a procedure on how to do the data gathering and how you will analyze your data and what particular statistical tool you are going to use. And second one, it should be based on professional issues. The fundamental purpose of any research is resolve any current issues or issue of a profession. A good research must come up with solutions to professional concerns. So why do we need to do a research? Because we want to find solutions for a particular professional concerns, like for example in educations, like for example nowadays that we are using the blended online learning. So what are the problems encountered in our professions? Okay, that's a good way, a good baseline in doing a research. Next is begin with a clearly defined purpose. A good research began with a clearly stated purpose. Only a clearly defined research with a clear purpose can be conducted in an effective manner. Of course, you have to identify first the problem. And after that, you have to find first the purpose, the objective of your research, the urgency of the conduct of the study. Why do you need to conduct the study? What are the research gap? What's the gap between your study and the present study available online? Okay, so it should begin with a clearly defined purpose. So basically, what's the purpose of doing this research? So you have to clear that. Okay, because that would be the direction of your research. When you do research, that could be your direction. Fourth, emphasize to develop, refine, and expand professional knowledge. The main aim of any research is to develop the body of knowledge of a profession or define the existing knowledge. A good research is directed towards expansion of professional body of knowledge. So remember that when we do research, we seek for answers to a particular problem. Okay? So it should develop or either refine or expand on a professional knowledge. And number 5, directed towards the development or testing theories. When we do research, we either test a theory, if it's true or not in a particular locality, if it's applicable in a particular locality, or we're able to develop another theory. So theory development and testing is a systematic process of inquiry in any discipline. Only a good research aims to develop or test a theory. So basically, when we do our research, especially when we do our master's thesis, when we do our dissertations in our PhD degree, we sometimes test theories, or sometimes we do researches that somehow develop theories, okay, using methodologies that somehow develop a new theory that would somehow add up to the existing body of knowledge in our profession. And of course, problem solving. The first and foremost importance of a good research is finding a solution to an existing problem. So that's basically the goal of doing research. We try to find answers. We try to find solutions to an existing problem, to an existing phenomena. A good research is directed towards finding an answer or a pertinent solutions for emerging professional problems. So we do research. Why? Because we feel that there's a need to answer this particular problem. So this is a problem. This problem exists. This phenomena exists in our profession. We do research because we want to find solutions. We want to find answers. 7, dedicated to develop empirical evidence. The purpose of a good research is to generate empirical evidences which can be used to improve the professional practices. Therefore, a good research strives to develop empirical evidences. So basically, when we conduct a research, when we do our research, we need to have a reliable results. And this results would somehow develop an empirical evidence that somehow solve again the problem, the existing phenomena. And 8, it strives to collect first-hand information. A good research is conducted by collection of data directly from subjects by different methods. Okay, so we need to seek first-hand data. We go directly to the problem. We go directly to our respondents. We do methods. We do data collection. Could either be in an interview or through questionnaires. Pandemic nowadays, we use other platforms online to conduct interview or survey questionnaires. Okay. 9 is objective and logical in process. A good and successful research emphasizes on objective and logical process. Research conducted through subjective means or in a haphazard manner will never lead to satisfactory results. That's really true. So when we do research, we need to do this research on a logical process, and we have to emphasize on the objectivity of this research. Number 10, generate findings to refine and improve professional practice. Again, why do we go back to the purpose? Why do we need to do our research? Because basically we want to find answers. Okay, a research cannot be considered successful if it fails to contribute towards professional practice. A good research strives to refine the elements of a profession as per a need of time. So basically, we do research because we wanted to seek for solutions. We seek for answers. We seek for problems. We solve problems. Next, use appropriate methodology. A good research is conducted following the selection of an appropriate methodology. Unsuitable methodology will result in wrong findings and contributes to a weak research. So that's very important. Aside from your goal, your objective of your study, aside from identifying the problem, that the problem really is existing, there's urgency of the study. Now, with that, out of your goal, you need to find for an appropriate methodology. Okay, it's not that I'll be doing this one because this is the methodology that I'm used to. No, it's not like that. When you do research, you really have to look for a methodology that's really appropriate, that somehow help you solve the problem, the existing problem. It somehow help you find the answer of the existing problem. So a good research need to have an appropriate methodology in doing research, in the data gathering. Okay, not only on the analysis of the data, it also on the use of the data collection, on how do you collect the data, the identification of the sample out of the populations, on how do we identify the sample, if it's a random sample, on how you identify a particular sample. So you have to use an appropriate method in doing that. Next is conducted on a representative sample. So generalization of research finding is possible if the study is conducted on a sample which has characteristics similar to the population of the study. So basically, the question is your sample really represents the population? That's always the question when we select our sample. So we really need to have an appropriate sampling techniques in the selection of our sample. Therefore, a good research is conducted on a representative sample. So again, is the sample a good representation of the population? How would we know if the sample is a good representative of the population? So basically, you have to go back with your sampling technique, your methodology in the selection of your particular sample. If this sample has the same characteristics with the population. 13, uses appropriate methods and tools of data collection. So a good research employs appropriate methods and tool for the conduct of the study. Methods and tools of data collection varies depending on the nature and the type of research. And again, when we talk about the appropriate methods and tools of data collection, we need to consider also the problem at hand and the methodology, if it's appropriate for that particular type of research. Okay, so you have to dig deeper on the methodology and the tools that you have to use in the data collection, because remember that the meat of your study is the data you collected. Okay, the data collection is the meat of your research, and how do you analyze, and how do you interpret the data. So the outcome of your research basically is based on your data collection, the data collected. So you really have to use an appropriate methodology in the data collection. And uses valid and reliable data collection tool. Evidence generated from a research activity can only be considered valuable if they are generated through valid and reliable research tools. A good research utilizes a valid and reliable tool to collect data from the subjects. Of course, when it's important on the selection of the sample, when we select our sample, it's very important if this sample really represent the population. Of course, it's also important to check on the reliability and the validity of your data collection tool. Okay, it should undergo process. Okay, if it's a researcher made questionnaire tool, then it should undergo factor analysis, could either be exploratory or the CFA, and it should be tested in a reliability, the conduct alpha for that reliability, and the content should be validated by experts. Okay, or if you adopt a particular survey questionnaires, of course, you have to respect the owner. You really have to ask a permission to the owner of the survey questionnaires when you adopt a certain questionnaire. 15, carefully recorded and reported data. In the absence of careful recording and reporting, evidences generated through the research may be covert in nature. A good research employs itself to generate quality empirical evidence, and the evidences thus gathered are duly reported. So this is part where, as a researcher, we have to take good care of the data. Okay, you have to check your data, you have to review your data. Okay, or you really have to record your data. Okay, we have to um move our biases in the data collection, so we need to record and report the data correctly. 16, adequately analyze and research. Any research activity is considered to be poor if it fails to adequately analyze and research. This activity is done using standardized and accepted methods of data analysis. So that's very important, on how you analyze your data. Okay, what particular statistical tools or what particular tools you're going to use in your data analysis. Your data analysis is very important. As important as your data collection procedure, as important of your tool, data collection tool. So this is one of the important part in doing research on how you analyzed your data, the result of your study. And of course, patiently carried out. Research cannot be carried out in a hurry. So you cannot actually finish a research in just 30 minutes, in just 2 days, in just 3 days. It takes time. Okay? It needs a long time and patience. Therefore, a patient endurance is the most important foundation of a good research. Again, in doing research, it takes time. And researchers' expertise, interest, motivation, and courage. Okay, this is also important. A good research work largely needs the researcher's expertise, interest, motivation, and courage of the researchers. In the absence of these attributes, accomplishment of a good research cannot be carried out. So you really have to have this one. Okay, your interest, your expertise, your interest, and your motivation, and your courage in doing the research. And I think this is the last one, adequately communicated. So again and again, when we do research, it doesn't end up to submission or submitting our output as part of the completion of your degree. We really need to communicate our research. The new knowledge obtained from a good research remains eh, useless until and unless it is adequately communicated to its users or stakeholders. Therefore, a good research activity strives to communicate findings as widely as possible. So, there, researchers, you really need to communicate your research. Okay, you join research fora. You need to publish your research to publication journals. Okay, because there is really a need to communicate your research. Okay, because the result of your research would somehow add up to the new body of knowledge. And again, this result could somehow be a good baseline data for another good research. So it is very important that you really need to communicate your research. And I think that ends my talk for tonight. Hello, sir. You're muted, sir.
All right, here we go. Sorry for that. Thank you, Dr. Mervin Amba Osik, for deepening our knowledge on values and research excellence with your insightful presentation. No wonder the integrity of knowledge that emerges from research is based on individual and collective adherence to core values like objectivity, honesty, openness, fairness, and what have you. Sir, it was very interesting and very informative presentation. You know what? I
Thanks.
particularly like your discussion on the 7P of values of research. This will actually pave way for our researchers to have the moral values that would influence their ethical decisions to take when they are about to conduct research works, actually. All right. And so for that, we hope you will consent to speak to us again in our next series.
My
All
pleasure,
right.
sir. My honor.
Yes. So thank you, sir, again for spending your time with us and share us with such a very informative and substantial presentation concerning values and research excellence. All right. All right. So we're done with the presentation for tonight's webinar. And up next is an exciting and fun-filled online quiz game competition. So please do hang out for that. So we now come to the online quiz game competition, and this is open for all our live audience tonight who is to join. As of now, we still have a few participants joining in, so we're going to give them a minute or two to get settled and then we'll get underway. All right. As soon as you're done joining with our quiz competition using slido.com, you will notice that your name will automatically appear on the screen. All right. Amelin Katubay is joining us with our online quiz game competition, also with Alex Javier Alvarez, Rosie Yosores, Veneranda Jordan, Jogar Tuso, Carmela Hain, Aimetrina Garcia, Gemma Binilada, Kiefer Rivera, Maria Cherry, SM Balovar. All right. And for fast access, guys, better yet, you can just scan the quiz code that's being displayed on the screen for fast access. All right, using your mobile phone. All right. So as of now, we have 29 participants joining us in our online quiz game competition for tonight. All right. So brace yourself, guys, because in just a few seconds, we're about to start with our fun-filled and exciting online quiz game competition for tonight. And our top 10 winners for tonight will receive a online quiz uh, certificate completion, if I'm not mistaken. All right, courtesy of IGP. So we will be awarding 10 certificates for those lucky top 10 players for tonight who would have the most correct answers and fastest response. I repeat, all right, you have to submit your answer as fast as you can, all right, because that would be the basis of slido.com in ranking your score, all right, on the screen. So you have to be careful with that one. You might notice that you'll be having a tie score, but the ranking would be based on how fast can you submit your answer. All right. So as of now, we have 32 participants who were able to join and enter in our what do you call this, slido.com quiz competition. All right. We have here Jaisel Vanessa Cabrera. Thank you for joining us. All right. We have Rike Kolema, Ismat Mustafa Khan, Mark Joshua Diego, Ricky R. Kolema. All right. Of course, my co-host Maribeth de la Cruz is also with us tonight, joining as one of the participants for online quiz game competition. All right. Mark Joshua Diego is also joining us. Leia Faconla. All right. So as of now, we have 37 participants on our online quiz game competition. All right. So brace yourself, guys, because in just a few minutes or seconds, I would say, we are about to start with our online quiz game competition. All right. We also have Nico Dennis Niro, Elaine E. Bagi, and Mary Chris H. Tagum. Thank you for joining us for our online quiz game competition. All right, more participants are coming in. As of the moment, we have 37 participants who were able to join us for tonight's competition. All right, so we are still waiting for some participants who would like to join for our online quiz game competition. Again, all you have to do for the sake of those newcomers, all you have to do is you simply go to slido.com. All right, and then once you land to that page, you will see a window asking you to type in the event code. By the way, the event code is now being displayed on the screen, or better yet, just simply scan the QR code that's now being displayed on the screen for fast and easy access. All right. So more participants are joining in. As of this moment, we have already 40 number of participants who are joining for the online quiz game competition. Shout out also to Sunday Olabudi Oladukon. All right. And we've got Crespiniano D. Candido, Vanessa Cabrera. All right. Thank you guys for joining us for tonight's online quiz game competition. This is really a manifestation of your continuing support to the Institute of Global Professionals. All right. Yes, thank you, Ma'am Nasreen Nesha, for reminding me of the code, but I can hardly read the code. The code on screen because of the what do you call this? The lower third button that's being also displayed on the screen. Okay, and we also provided the link down in the comment section below. All right. So, all right. So again, for those who would like to join with our online quiz game competition, you have two ways to join with the competition or the quiz game competition. First, just type in the uh, the code, the even code, right on the window on the slido.com page, or you can also scan the QR code that's now being displayed on your screen. I would prefer that one because it's very, very accessible and very fast. All right, so in just a few minutes, we are about to start with our competition quiz game for tonight. Yes, thank you, Emmeline, for reminding me of the code. That's IGP. The code for tonight's online quiz game competition is IGP. You simply type in IGP on the window, right on the slido.com page. All right. And then after typing the code IGP, press enter, and then you're good to go. Pretty much you're good to go. All right. Okay, I think more participants are joining in. Again, for those newcomers, all you have to do is visit slido.com. And once you land to that page, all right, you will see a window asking you to type in the even code. Okay, so just simply type in IGP. That's the code. And press enter, and then boom, you're in already. And you can also just, scan the QR code that's now being displayed on the screen for fast and easy access. All right. Okay. So as of now, we've got 44 participants who are not joining in. And out of 44, okay, 10 of them, all right, 10 out of 45 participants will be receiving a certificate of recognition. All right. For those participants who could have correct answers and who could have the fastest response time. All right. So those are the two things that you have to consider in joining the online quiz game competition. All right. Submitting the right answer and submitting it, as fast as you can. All right. Because most of the time, Slido will rank you guys according to how fast you can submit your answer. Lucky are those participants who are having a good signal in their location. All right. So we are now reaching 46 participants as of this moment. Okay, so we have new names like Bibeth Achuela. Thank you for joining us for tonight's quiz game competition. We also have Palas Chandra Barman, Annalise Ruiz, Jay Sale, Joy D. Likatan. All right. Who else? Ismat Mustafa Khan. I think I've read this name already. All right. I hope, guys, you enjoy joining with our online quiz game competition as much as we enjoy sharing it with you, playing it with you. All right. I think more participants are joining in. And another reminder, guys, after this, okay, we have to pave way for the question and answer segment. So if I were you guys, you better prepare your question. You can just, type in the questions that you have in mind, right in your mobile phone or cell phone or whatever you might call it. All right. And then keep on sending your question during our online quiz game competition because I'm sure our speaker for tonight is very much willing and happy to answer whatever questions that you might raise. All right. So we are now 47 participants joining on our quiz game competition. Okay. I think I was able to mention Marlita Di Nelo, who is also joining us for tonight's quiz game competition. All right. More participants are coming in. All right. We have Pamela B. Gonzalvo. All right. All right. So I think we are ready to go. All right. So we've got the first question. All right. Values are, is it rules and standards that guides your life or always doing the right thing no matter what? Right, time is up and majority of you guys said rules and standards that guides your life. And let's find out which one is the correct answer. Slide, please show us the correct answer. Yes, it's the option A. I mean the first option. All right. So we've got, all right, Annalise Ruiz being the top one for the first question, followed by Mark Joshua Diego, Alex Javier Alvarez, Gemma Benelada, Cristina V. Del Rosario. Okay, for the top five, uh, for the first question only. All right, we still have 9 questions remaining to be answered. So you better brace yourself up, guys. All right. For the second question, it says, when we practice our top values, research shows that is it life feels important and meaningful or is it life feels materialist? Which do you think is the correct answer? All right. The correct answer is the first option, which is life feels important and meaningful. Congratulations, but none of you got the wrong answer. All right. 100% of our respondents got the correct answer, but still, Annalise Ruiz is still our top scorer as of this moment. All right. She managed to submit her answer in just a matter of 7 seconds. Okay, that's the beauty of having a strong connection, strong internet connection rather. All right. All right. So for the third question, it says best research evidence, patient values, and clinical expertise are, is it evidence based practice or randomized clinical trials? Slido is now processing the answer and it's evidence based practice. Congratulations, but majority of you guys, that's 96%, got the correct answer. All right. So let's go back to our dashboard and let's find out. Still, analyst Ruiz was able to maintain his superiority over the other participants. All right. As you might notice, okay, you have a tie score. All right. But what makes it differ is, I mean, all right. So let's proceed with question number 4. What is nursing research? Is it systematic inquiry uses rigorous methods to answer questions or describes the past and present activities? 94%, and that's the correct answer. Congratulations, guys. All right, majority of our participants got the correct answer that systematic inquiry uses rigorous methods to answer questions. And let's check our dashboard this time and let's find out who's going to be our top scorer. Still, Annalise Ruiz is on the top of our list. You've got high score. However, Annalise Ruiz was able to submit his answer in just a matter of 12 seconds. So for that reason, he was able to maintain his spot being the number one on the list. Number 5 question, it says sampling in research may be defined as selecting a representative subset of a population or identifying the population of interest. Slido is now processing. Yes, it's selecting a representative. Oh my.
Okay, we have the right answer, and 85% gave the correct answer. Let's see your leaderboard. We have Christina on first position in our leaderboard. Congratulations. Let's go to our next question. Experimental quantitative research is randomized assignment of participants or clinical trials or involves implanting a treatment or intervention. The correct answer is randomized assignment of participants or clinical trials. 72% gave the right answer. Let's see our leaderboard. Cristina V. Del Rosario on first position in our leaderboard. Congratulations. Let's go for our seventh question. What is applied research? Is it attempts to solve real problems in clinical practice or attempts to solve real problems in sterile environment? Choose your answer. So the correct answer is attempts to solve real problems in clinical practice. 80% gave the right answer. Okay, we have once again Christina on first position in our leaderboard. Let's see who's going to be on first place in our leaderboard. Let's go for question 8. If we follow our personal values, we will always be right or grow as individuals. And the correct answer is grow as individuals. 73% choose the right answer. Congratulations. Let's see our leaderboard. Okay, we have Melinda Civil Hispano on first position in our leaderboard. Congratulations. Let's go for our ninth question. What is a quantitative approach to research? Is it think, meaning, experience, understanding, or think cause and effect, or relationships, or difference, or prediction? Choose your option. So the correct answer is second one, think cause and effect, or relationships, or difference, or prediction. 71% choose the correct answer. Let's see our leaderboard. We have Melinda Civil Hispano in first position in our leaderboard. Congratulations. Let's go for our last number 10 question. With experimental quantitative research, one of the advantages are provides highest level of evidence for single studies or useful in forecasting for or making predictions. Choose your answer. So the correct answer is provides highest level of evidence for single studies. 65% choose the correct answer. Let's see our leaderboard. Congratulations. We have our top 10 participants, top 10 winners participants. So Melinda Civil Hispano is on first position in our leaderboard. Then we have Emmeline in second position. We have Jameline on third position, and then we have Ricky on fourth position. Then we have Lizel on fifth position, following Nico on sixth position, and then we have Annalita Quitter on seventh position. Then we have Pamela on eighth position. We have Alex Xavier on ninth position and Rosie on 10th position. Congratulations to all of our top 10 winners. So I'm delivering it to our host.
Yes. Thank you, Ma'am Nesrin, for for
I think
assistance.
there's
But
a
I
little bit network
yes,
issue. Yes,
I'm awfully sorry, but I know you've
it's
lost me
okay.
for a few minutes. But that's due to power interruption. Again, please bear with me. All
And
right.
please carry on. Yes, thank you.
Yes. So congratulations to our winners for tonight online quiz game competition. All right. You can just claim your certificate of recognition by paying a visit to our website. And also go find the link down below for you to download your certificate for tonight's online quiz game competition. All right. So we're done with the online quiz game competition for tonight, and question and answer portion is coming up next. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, your questions will now be entertained by our speaker for tonight. So, Sir Marvin is joining us again to entertain all those questions that you might raise. All right, so do we have questions from our live audience? Because I think our speaker, Sir Marvin, is so happy and willing to answer whatever questions that you have in mind right now. All right. So for those who would like to ask questions to our speaker, all you have to do is you simply type in, all right, your question down in the comment section below, whether you'll be in our Facebook page or in YouTube, in our YouTube channel. You have to do the same. Just simply type in, all right, your question, and we are happy to entertain all those questions that you have in mind. All right. Okay, so we are still waiting for questions that might posed by our live audience for tonight, because I'm sure Sir Marvin will receive a lot of questions as his presentation is so relevant and timely for all of those of our academicians out there, our students, teachers, or even professionals, all right, who are actually into research, all right. All right, so we have the first question, Sir Marvin, and this question is from Mom Sherry Santa Maria Balovar. And the question is, which is better to use, qualitative or quantitative research?
Okay. Good evening. Thank you for that question. It depends upon the problem. It depends upon the phenomena. If you really want to find for a solutions, then you do quantitative research. If you know deeper about the problem, you do qualitative research, because qualitative research is non-conclusive. You cannot give conclusions out of the results. But when you do quantitative research, then you can make an inference out of the population. So it depends upon the problem at hand.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir Marvin, for your very insightful answer to that question. And in addition to that, I think you also have to consider the number of participants, because for me, qualitative it's a huge task to conduct a research on a massive scale of people using qualitative, because as far as I know, qualitative is you are actually conducting an in-depth study. So you have to make use of focus group discussion, and I can't imagine targeting a huge amount, I mean, huge number of people using qualitative. Right, Sir Marvin, you also have to consider the number of participants. All right, so
Yes, sir.
we
That's correct.
have, yes, we've got another question here from Emmeline. Emmeline is asking, how can we say that the sample has the characteristics of a population?
Okay. Like for example, if you're doing a research, like it's a purposive sampling. For example, your problem is on a communicable diseases. So your sample should be all those people with who experience these communicable diseases. So that's a purposive sampling. So you select a sample out of that particular populations. So all of these samples really experience this communicable disease if that's part of if that's the problem of your study. So it's on the inclusion criteria on the selection of your respondents. Like for example, if,
Yes,
if you want to study about boys who experience quote unquote HIV, who has an HIV, so basically your sample is all boys who experience or are living with the HIV.
yes, very well said. It really depends on the kind of population that you are targeting. So if you're targeting the youth, and then you have to also to consider the, I mean, the age, the level of education, and everything. Okay, that makes you really find out the sampling process. All right, thank you,
Yes,
sir.
the inclusion
And then
criteria.
yes, so we've got another question here from Mary Chris Hermogino Tagom, and she's asking, what is the best method that she may use in knowing the relationship of the interactive media and the academic progress of college students? So she is actually referring to two
Methodology.
variables. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Since you're looking for a relationship between these two variables, so it would be better to use quantitative research using correlational technique. Okay. But in doing quantitative research with two variables, that's too technical, that you need to have a theory, an anchored theory, wherein it shows that there is really a relationship between these two variables or existing studies that shows that there is a relationship between these two variables. If you really wanted to show relationship, you have to test the theory if there's really an existing relationship between two variables. So I think the best methodology is a quantitative research using correlational technique.
Yes. Just to test if there is a relationship between
Relationship
the
between
interactive media to the
and
academic progress of the
perform
students, for
students.
instance. Yes. Very well said. All right. So do we have another question or? All right. All right. Let's find out if we have other question on the screen. All right. But I think it looks like we've covered all those questions submitted to us by our live audience. Am I right? So, if there are no further questions, all right, I would like to bring this segment to a close and ask you guys to show your appreciation to our dynamic speaker, Sir Marvin Amba Osik, or I would say Dr. Marvin Amba Osik. All right. On behalf of the Institute of Global Professionals, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to you, sir, for taking time of your busy schedule and join us for tonight's or today's webinar. All right.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. It's an honor.
Thank you. And to our live audience tonight, we appreciate your keen interest in this webinar. Your time and effort is much appreciated. Thank you, and we hope that you have gained considerable insight into our discussion on our webinar on values and research excellence. All right. So, do we have to say something about the certification process? All right. So we are now showing you the code and claiming your e-verified certificate for tonight's webinar. All right. That's IGP 5383. I'll repeat. That's IGP 5383. This is exactly the code that you'll be using in claiming and downloading your e-certificate for tonight's webinar. You take note of the program title, that's Values and Research Excellence. All right, so you better go to IGP website, all right, and log in using your username and password, and after which, okay, you try to find out the link where you can download your e-verified certificate using the code that's now being displayed on the screen, and that's IGP 5383. With code you can claim your certificates anytime. All right. All right. So again, on behalf of the Institute of Global Professionals, thanks again. All right. Thanks again for joining us tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow for another webinar series. This has been Gafoor in Panimbang saying, keep continue learning. Thank you and God bless.